all of that fun stuff. Not for the average Joe Blow, but they really targeted only 600 of them. And then from which they were able to convert 150 of them. Not quite all via email, not quite all online, but it still involves some come through with this. I think what we have seen successful is always pitching a pilot. A customer is not going to write you a check for $2 million when you make a proposition to marketing outsourcing. But they'll be more than willing to try you out for a month, for a quarter, ideally to get started, then see how the progress is, and based on which maybe even you can offer a pay-for-performance model. Because you know after the first quarter what kind of leads were you able to generate, how were you able to support them. Nothing happens in the world without generating a lead. It really makes sense for you to be able to package solutions the right way and take the challenge. See, if we cannot take the challenge out of India, who else can? The average American company or a Canadian company or a British company cannot really afford to put so many resources behind a customer to really make them successful. So it makes a lot of sense for Indian entrepreneurs, Indian businesses to load up a focused set of resources on each customer to enable their success. And that can be done out of India without breaking the bank, obviously. So this is a huge growth opportunity we're sitting on. I actually went to our site afterwards to see what kind of data we're offering. This was last night, and I saw that we're already offering some segmented leads in the B2B space, in the Indian space, import-export facets. But more than that, I think the element here is there's so much of a wide range of green marketing opportunities available. Right from search marketing, social media, CRMs, your typical display ads, analytics, campaign tracking, the whole gamut. And I think today providers out of India have all these capabilities. Maybe they don't have all of it together. So how do you get started? You would get started with where your core competency is, and then be the kind of merchant, expand the offerings to your customers in other areas. Maybe use some of the other companies to support you initially, but eventually build your competence. So I guess if you can relate to it, this is how marketers are spending in the year ahead. Where are the areas where you're seeing significant interactive marketing growth? Social media, online, search engine optimization, mobile, email marketing, paid searches, all of that. So where are they really reducing the spend? You know it. They're reducing the spend on newspapers, radio, telemarketing, televisions. All of this is being reduced. So there's a huge growth opportunity for India to get on the green marketing curve and really start offering this to our customers. The average budget which is going to be spent on blogs, is going to be spent on social media, is almost doubling in the next year. So it's a superior opportunity that we're sitting on. So if you look at it, over 40% of the businesses use blogs. Over 40% already are using these kind of marketing support structures to really help grow. So if you can relate to content, that's another superior area where India can really support. There are loads of resources available. You can actually drive all kinds of content. Your website can be extremely up to date, and this is all humanly intensive. It is possible from India. Actually, right after I wrote this PPT, I went to a strategic website and I found that they had this photo from yesterday, one of the iPad winners at our booth, already published up on the website, already up on the blogs. Very important. It's about speed as well. So I could relate to the fact that we're needing to move fast. We're needing to move with a lot of resources. Possible out of India. Not possible for marketers worldwide to do. If we can train our resources appropriately, India stands a superior opportunity to ride this marketing outsourcing growth curve. Marketers obviously prefer inbound because it's less expensive to do inbound than outbound. But it needn't always be the case. In some cases, obviously, outbound is essential. So it's just that you have to map an optimum mix of inbound and outbound spending in your marketing mix. Obviously, inbound leads cost less compared to outbound leads. So you have to use your blogs, you have to use your social media mix to really bring in a lot more leads into the mix. Look at search, 8800 billion searches on Google every month. Huge opportunity for you to invest in SEO and drive a lot more traffic. Facebook is really picking up. Obviously, it is taking over Google and Yahoo in terms of time spent online. What is your Facebook involvement from your company's perspective? Are you active every day? Before I could answer that, I went to Strategic's Facebook page last night and I saw, boy, they already have advertised about TFM&A second day, and some of these fun stuff which you can do on your websites. It doesn't take a lot of effort. So it's important that you start doing it for yourself, then start offering for your clients as well. So social media is a channel, huge opportunity for marketing outsourcing. So I'll take a quick break here. I know that we all are really drive the marketing outsourcing model by talking to some of the decision makers, CEOs, or really the folks responsible for it. Particularly when you're approaching a small and medium enterprise segment, really the top brass are the folks who are making these decisions. And what are their typical problems? These are the typical problems. Sales are not coming in, revenue is down, obviously expenses are growing, salaries are increasing, we're not making as much profit as we should be incurring some losses maybe. So these are all typical CEO, CMO problems. So if you look at it, it centers around people, then it centers around the cost, then last but not the least, it centers around the lack of expertise that companies might have. So is marketing outsourcing a solution for everyone? Not quite. Maybe from a business perspective, I would say companies in the $1 million to $50, $100 million space would be companies who would be easily ready to adapt because they're not really quite sophisticated at in-house. But even larger companies would want to eventually optimize all their costings. I can share a story about architects. So for example, there are around 10,000 architects who are roughly in the $100,000 to $1 million revenue stream. But really, only a dozen of them are over the